Hey guys, this is Emmanuel, your emotion code practitioner out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, working for Coding Alternative. I just want to do a really quick video in regards to The Secret. And so maybe you guys have obviously heard about this. It's been one of the most millions and millions of copies sold, almost 20 million copies sold worldwide, changed to many different languages. And obviously, for those of you who are deep seekers of what's going on with the law of attraction, or the LOA, something that does come up is things like, The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, or the big one is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, that was written back in 1910. In fact, if you watch the commercial of The Secret, they have many trailers. If you go ahead and go on YouTube, you'll see where it says it all started with one man, and you'll see this picture of a man kind of fading into the darkness. That's actually Wallace D. Wattles, who back then in 1910 was already sharing this type of information, and that because of it, it was, certain people used it and they prospered during very rough areas similar to depression and things like that. And so what's really interesting is the question is, does the law of attraction work? I know I watched even a David Chappelle bit where he was making fun of it. He says, if there's some very poor African kid and he's really hungry, just is he going to think himself a steak sandwich or something like that, and he's going to feel better all of a sudden? Man, get out of here, So it's actually, a lot of people make fun of it because a lot of people think that what it consists of is just thinking positive thoughts and then everything will come to you. I mean, especially with the one instance where it talks about coffee, or think of a coffee and then a coffee will show up. Well, the reality is, and what most people know now, is that it does take immense work, physical exertion, to go out there and make things happen. It's not gonna, you're not gonna just, a Chase Bank's just not gonna float down and all of a sudden it opens up and there's a vault, But I do want to tell you that the self-development community, shame on you, have done sort of a disservice to the law of attraction, and which is basically the law of attraction is enough, or if you keep reading self-development, that you'll keep getting better and things like that. The problem is, how many of you guys, just be honest, know a lot of people who read a ton of self-development, but for whatever reason, they're still broke? Or I just want to talk about finances today. So hopefully I offend someone, because then that means that I've hit a chord here. But the reality is that there's so many people saying, this is how you make money, this is how you make money, but they're missing one amazing ingredient. For example, if you look up The Secret and you look it up on Google, you can kind of click on some more things like, what is the secret? How do you use the secret? Things like that. And guess what I found there? I found something that says, unless our beliefs and dominant vibrations are in harmony with them, then the secret works. So I was like, how does it work? That's what I found. Guys, look, it says, unless our beliefs and dominant vibrations, obviously we're all vibrations, right? Nikola Tesla says that we're all energy, frequency, and vibrations, unless they're in harmony with them. See, that's kind of where the secret leaves you, right there, right on the cliff, and you're about to make that amazing jump towards success, but you drop because your vibrations aren't aligned. Example, the next person that I would talk to is huge on traction is Abraham Hicks, who says to align with source energy. And she talks about this, this vortex. But guess what it says? It needs to be in alignment, in vibrational alignment with your desires. Second person who leads you to the cliff, it says, are you in alignment? So the question is though, if we're energetic, emotional beings, could it be possibly that there are things that are sabotaging you, that are really preventing you from becoming successful? Most definitely. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. As a certified emotion code practitioner and someone who is studying and looking into the body code, the more you start realizing that everything in your life, right? If you guys are taking notes here, you guys want to write this down. Everything in your life is either vibrationally, it's aligned or misaligned. I'll give you guys a good example. I worked with, now let me give you kind of a quick background on the emotion code. So what is the emotion code? The emotion code is basically created by Dr. Bradley Nelson. I'm not the founder of it. Dr. Bradley Nelson deserves all the credit. And he basically wrote a book about 10 years ago. It's his 10-year anniversary. And he talks about how our organs are frequency generators, where we feel our emotions. And these emotions are the size of these, they're actually energies. The size of a tennis ball or cantaloupe can get lodged in your body, get stuck near the organ that created it. For example, liver is anger, bitterness, guilt, hatred, resentment. So there's over 60 trapped emotions that you can experience. In fact, I even have a chart here. You can experience over 60 trapped emotions, and it can stay inside your system, and it can cause a couple of problems. Number one is it tears away at the tissue of your body. Number two is it starts creating pain because it starts breaking your field of energy. It could create neck pain, shoulder pain, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, even serious diseases. That's number two. And the last one is this one. It makes you very reactive. So for example, if there's something in your past where your father was very, very hard on you at age 6, is that possible? Yeah. And then you felt sadness, or even worse, his anger got projected on you and you absorbed his anger. It's possible that you have a trapped emotion of anger or now sadness. What does that mean for you? Well, something you don't want to know that's kind of scary to think about is, have you seen the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray? It's a repetitive state that he's in that he can't escape that day. Very similar, your body is having problems escaping that moment. So that trapped emotion stuck in your body, it makes you very reactive. For example, you're with your boyfriend. Let's say you felt sadness, right? Let's say your boyfriend makes you sad. You don't just stay in your current state. You actually you actually plug in a time machine and you float back into time to when you were 6 years old. You subconsciously experience what happened at 6, then you fly right back to your current state. Guess what happens? Now it's an over-exaggerated sadness that you're bringing to your partner. And so we're technically, this society in general, the reason why you're seeing so much Facebook crazy news feed like contention is because we're a very reactive society. We have between 200 to 300 of these trapped emotions, and they're causing havoc, either emotionally, spiritually, or physically. And here's one of the things. In the Body Code 2.0, if you want to Google it, go look up Body Code. Dr. Brian Nelson takes all the things that we deal with our body, whether it's toxins, whether it's systems, whether it's a gland issue or skeletal, like your whole literal body, and basically places it in over 200 plus maps where a practitioner can map and find out what's actually the imbalance in the body. I mean, this was so credited that I knew, for example, my father, who's an oncologist, after 30 years of his own practice, he even said he read the whole Body Code manual, which was like this thick, and he said, this is one of the most inspired things I've ever seen, especially because I helped him out with his neck and shoulder pain within 20 minutes using magnets and using applied kinesiology. So we have to address the fact that we have these things called trapped emotions. If you don't believe in trapped emotions, I challenge you to stand up right now, wherever you're at, and ask, do I have trapped? Well, first of all, state your name first. Say, my name is, and then say your name, and then see if you're like, close your eyes a little bit. You're kind of like, you're if you notice you're kind of wobbly whenever you stand, you'll slowly start tilting forward, which basically states that that's your name, right? Like your body's saying that is your name. But if you say my name is Bob, okay, obviously hopefully your name's not Bob and you're saying Bob, but you want to say like, another name that's not you, you'll slowly start swaying backwards. What is that called? It's called the sway test. Does it work? Of course it does. And, a lot of chiropractors, doctors use sway test to find out what your body needs, what are the imbalances going on inside. But what if I told you to mention a word that you've never heard before, for example, trapped emotions, and say, do I have trapped emotions? Or even another question, do I have any trapped emotions that my body would like to release right now? And if you stay there long enough, you might actually start tilting forward. You'll be like, wait, I've never heard that word. Why is my body congruent with that? Or you can even ask a question, say, do I have a heart wall? And then you'll slowly start tilting forward. Be like, okay, I've never heard that word before, but why is my body tilting? Or then to test it out, maybe I'm pushing it. Say today, for example, is Monday. Say today is Sunday, and then see what your body does. You'll slowly go backwards. Your body's saying, no, it's not. So again, sway test is very, very powerful. And to prove to you that what I'm talking about is real, is you can sway and use a sway test, and it works. So how do you get in vibrational alignment with your desires? I want to share with you guys the story that these trapped emotions are just the beginning, but there's other things like despair anchors, courtings, emotional resonance energies, broadcast messages, images, memory fields, all these different energies that are literally holding you back from having success. And maybe you've read every self-development, you've read NLP books, EFT books, everything, but for some reason you still feel stuck, and you're like, and I've read The Secret 4 or 5 times. You're sitting there, you're sitting there in front of a vision board, you're just looking back, and then constantly your boyfriend or your husband saying, hey, we got to do lunch right now for the kids. I don't know what you're doing. It's like, shh. Rhonda Burns told me to visualize. Like, here's the powerful thing that I don't want you guys to know, or I do want you guys to know. And the main important thing is, does the law of attraction work? And the answer is absolutely. Do I salute Rhonda Burns? I do. The law of attraction does work. Even Dr. Bradley Nelson confirms that he knows that the law of attraction works. But in order for it to really truly work and manifest, you need to be vibrationally aligned. And I'm telling you, there's energies that are inside your body that are sabotaging you. That's the secret behind the secret that no one wants to talk about. And the reason why is because there's people making boatloads of money everywhere talking about, there's probably a book out there called The Secret Behind the Secret. There's probably a book out there going like how to use the secret properly. And it's because, and people will buy because guess what? They're not receiving the results. I challenge you to call 20 of your friends and ask them, do you use The Secret? What's the percentage of your 20 friends that are actually having financial success? Very, very low. And those people that do have financial success, maybe they have a burst, it's possible, but then their trapped emotions and their energies will keep them at their set point. One of my mentors, Chris Hughes, talks about this thing called a set point, where you'll always go back to a certain set point of either weight or finances if there's things holding you back, silent saboteurs that are holding you back. Well, these silent saboteurs aren't just your beliefs. I mean, they are, but beneath those beliefs are energies that have not been processed. So I want to give you guys a really quick example. I know one lady, and some of you guys might be like, wow, that's not a huge difference, but it is if you really think about it. Just a lady that I know that I'm going to keep private. I'm not going to tell you her name, but she wanted to create abundance. She wanted to make she's actually doing very well. She has a lot of savings, but she's in the older side, over like 50, 60 years old. And she said, I just want to make $40,000 extra, just, because like I have a lot of savings and stuff, but I need, I just would like $40,000. See, so most of you guys, that's not a lot. But I also have clients that of course make $10, $20, $40, $50,000 a month, and they've also had a financial increase. But I just want to talk about, what if you just want to make an extra $40,000 a year? Do you guys know that would change most of your guys' life? So this is kind of a good example. Just what if you could create an opportunity where you make an extra $40,000 and you can attract it like that? Well, she wanted to find a job, $40,000, employee benefits, and time off. So I started working with her back in September 17th. And I said, okay, let's work on what are things that are holding you back abundant-wise. And first, we didn't use any percentages. Were just working with her. And I found an emotional resonance energy. I'm not going to go too into it, but this is kind of like, there's an energy inside of her body around 21 where she felt this emotion and it's vibrating this energy. Does this attract negative things in her life? Sure. Does it attract other people that have these emotional resonance energies? Most definitely. So it's not something that helps her out with abundance. So we released it. We released it using a magnet, long distance, and applied kinesiology. So we did that. Number 2, kind of the beauties of doing the emotion code work is that you can do it from a long distance. Number 2, she had a despair anchor. Picture like a big, like a sea, like a ship anchor. And it was the I'm too old. And what she does is, this anchor, what it does is it seeks out things to basically to validate that she says, I'm too old. See, I told you I'm too old. So did you know that you might have an anchor that maybe it's like a negative statement you made really strongly one day, and it actually becomes an energy in your body, and you're constantly looking to validate that energy. It's called a despair anchor. Then she had a broadcast message. These guys are dangerous. This is basically you made a statement and there's a strong energy in your body that you're projecting things to basically affect other people's subconscious mind. Did you know that? So imagine that if you have a shirt on that says like, don't work with me, I'm not reliable, and then everyone you see, they're like, for some reason, like, I don't want to work with you. People have that. It's called the broadcast message. And you have to use this magnet, unprogram it, and basically install it and then install a new one. Hers was, I'm a failure. We made it to I'm successful. Now we started going into percentages where I said, all right, how aligned are you to making this $40,000 a year job? And I started muscle testing. I'm like, you know what? You're at 56%. And that's from all the work that we've done before and not putting a percentage mark on it. This is how beautiful this is. The founder of this said, he's like, did you know that everything is either misaligned or aligned? That's it. Relationships, misalignment. Abundance, misalignment. If you align it, you'll start seeing you attract the right people into your life. If you align it, you'll start attracting the abundance that you need. So we're looking at what her alignment energy was. It was 56%. Her body could do it to the decimal point, 56.243. I mean, it really knows what energies are moving things away from her that she actually wants. Hers was at 56%. We need to get to 100%. She had an image of herself. That was number one. She had a no will to live energy. Most of you guys don't even know. You guys might even have one. It basically comes when you become very overwhelmed and you just kind of want to throw in the towel. An actual energy is created called no will to live. We released that one. She had a physical trauma that I found in her body, but it was around 7 years old from a teacher that used to pick on her all the time. Why is it physical? Because sometimes it hurts. It's so emotional that your body can consider it a physical trauma when it's actually just an emotional one. So I asked, is it emotional? But I said yes. And she remembers that teacher used to pick on her and reject her and say all these things to her. It was affecting her abundance. Then we went to October 18th. We went from September 17th to October 16th. October 16th, we worked with her. We went from 56% to 85%. Then we went to October 18th. I found a despair anchor that I never get recognized. We released that one. She had a memory field of all these memories of things that have happened to her in the past. What if you have a memory field? Imagine having like a cloud in front of you, has all these memories of you failing here, 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 here. And so whenever you look at opportunities, it's this cloud, and you're able to release that cloud if it's negative or move it behind you in the body code. So we released that. Then we also released some trapped emotions she had in her body: insecurity, despair, discouragement, which means probably not the greatest things that you feel these all the time to acquire that employer that says, you know what, you need to come in here. Guess what? I got a text message from her just 2 weeks ago, and she basically said, almost a week ago. Like a week ago, she said, hey, just letting you know, you're not going to believe this. I landed my $40,000 a year job with the benefits that I want and the time that I want off. Exactly to the key, 40,000. And we already hit 100% by October 18th. So I have other clients that we've done the same thing, and they're like, usually around this time I'm making between $1,000 and $1,500. Now I'm making close to $3,000 a month. Because I started asking them, I said, hey, you're working with me more. I've noticed that before it was like once a month. Now it's like once a week I'm meeting with you. She's like, oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm now making close to $3,000 for 2 months in a row when I used to only make up to $1,000 for the last 5 years in my skincare business. So again, what's happening is it's all about alignment. How aligned are you? You may have a goal of making $250,000, but if you're only 7% aligned, then we've got some problems. And so that's what I love. That is the secret behind the secret, is that you may have energies, trauma, energy fields that are literally holding you back. And people that are putting out self-development, like, if you do this, we'll get you there. Now, if it's obviously to-do courses, that's different. But if it's how to manifest and they're tricking you into that, that's just false claims. And here in this situation with the body code, I've never seen such amazing results with that. It's something to definitely look into. If you have more questions about what this is all about, go ahead and look up what is the emotion code or what is the heart wall. Go on YouTube right now. Go, what is heart wall? What is the emotion code? And feel free to muscle test yourself. Do that whole muscle testing. Do I have trapped emotions? And watch you slowly sway forward. Do I have a heart wall? I've never even heard the word heart wall. Why am I swinging forward? If you knew what a heart wall was, that's also holding you back from abundance. I cleared mine back in April 2016. So hopefully, guys, this is an eye-opening thing for you. And I just wanted to give you one client's version. What happened between September 17th, October 16th, October 18th to go from like very low alignment, 56 to 100% alignment. And then now she received what she wanted to receive a week later. And so it is very possible. I believe this is the future of healing, and that we need to be healed energetically before we acquire some certain goals, whether it's relationship or abundance or physical goals as well. So with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this message. Feel free to share this with anybody. There are people, trust me right now, that have libraries behind me and they're still stuck. They need to know about this. Like maybe it's you who lets them know and say, hey, have you heard of the emotion code? Have you heard of the body code? There's only 4,000 practitioners in the world. So we're kind of hard to find. But if you do find us, we know how to release those energetic imbalances. Has it happened for myself as well? It most definitely has. And maybe one day I'll share my story. But I definitely want to let you guys know this is real. And you guys can test it for yourself with that sway test. And then feel free to look at other videos. What is the emotion code? What is the heart wall? And hopefully one person benefited from this video. And hopefully one day you'll have a family legacy to leave with your children. And maybe I had one thing to do with that. So with that, I love you guys. Take care. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this message. Take care. Bye-bye.